Well, welcome to my shop. I thought I'd show you some projects. And when you look at these projects, I want you to think more about what they mean and how you can maybe apply some of the stuff to the projects you have going on. For example, what is this? Do you know? Huh. It's a bread pan. Not a loaf pan. A loaf pan is what cooks in the oven and the loaf comes out. This is what you mix the dough in and then let the dough rise in. And this bread pan, it made 7 loaves a week for at least 25 years. It was my mom's. I think they bought it at an auction. I'm pretty sure she nudged my dad and said, I gotta have that, and she did, and certainly she got her money's worth out of it. And now what? Well, we don't need that much bread, no pun intended. I thought maybe I would, I don't know, give it to a antique store or try to sell it, but I'm afraid that if I did, somebody would turn it into a planter and my mother would be irate at that. So I thought what I would do is I'd see if I could maybe just get some of the tarnish off. We got this at the Minnesota State Fair a number of years ago, Wennel wax. I think it's made in Hungary, and it is a metal polish. You put it on until it dries. It's kind of like back in the day when they used to have to, scrub their silverware every week. Put the protective wax on the top, and I'm asking a lot because there is a lot of tarnish on this. I'd just like to get enough of patina on it that people would see it as I see it. And so when I do this, there's an equation that's going on. There is the task at hand, and I'm trying to measure how long this task will take. I don't know, at least 8 hours. There is the talent involved. Well, there really is no talent involved in this. It's more of a skill. It's maybe more of a chore. So there's nothing necessarily pleasing in that. And then who is it to? Well, I guess it's to me. It's to a memory of my mom. The more people that it's for, the more people that it's to, well, the greater the amount of satisfaction. So ultimately, I just don't know the value of this particular task. So, task I'm also working on in the shop is one I'm helping my daughter Madeline with. See, this is it's a cribbage board. We play cribbage around the house. We like to do that. And this is an old piece of walnut from a tree that my grandfather cut down many years ago. It's been sitting back in my shed. So we took the scrap out of it. I found the plans online. I showed her how to use the drill press. She'd never done that before. And so we made this and to see the look on her face, right? So the task was fairly small, probably about 6 hours. The talent, some. Kind of a skill you learn more than a talent, but still some. And who is it to? Well, it's to my daughter, even though she made it, to teach her about that. That was pleasing to me. And I know that she will have pleasure in showing it to people whenever she plays a game of cribbage. So this has a high amount of satisfaction. And now this. Well, this is a vanity for one of my other daughters, Maggie. You can see this wood here. This is off of that same same walnut tree, I should say, that my grandfather milled all those years ago. So to make this and give it to her with a story about her great-grandfather. Okay, so it's a talent. Yes, I would say woodworking is both a talent and a skill. The task. This was a pretty big task. I don't think you can see all of it. Let me see if I can lift it up. Can you see that it is a sewing machine? Oh my goodness gracious. A Singer sewing machine, treadle mill, back in the day. And this was in a barn at my wife's, my mother-in-law's house. And she said I could have it. And so I made the drawers for it out of the same walnut. And see how I put a spool on for a handle? That was pleasing to me. So here again is the equation. The task. This is a pretty big project because I had to do a lot of thinking about how I would do it. So maybe 20, 25 hours. Woodworking is more of a skill than a talent, but not many people have the skill, so it sometimes seems like a talent. So I give that a good grade. And who is it to? Well, I guess it's to my daughter and my grandfather, sort of to honor him, to my mother-in-law, and I think that she will use this for many years and hopefully think about all of those people. So there is satisfaction in that as well. So when you look at, the job that you do, there is that equation I was talking about. Does it really line up with your talents? Who is it for? I mean, you can see if you're working, making cardboard boxes in a factory, oh, there's no real talent involved with that. And maybe it's not at all in your skill set. And you never see the end user, so you don't even know who it's to. So you can see how that may be a job with less satisfaction. And if you own that company, your challenge is to try to figure out how you can connect meaning into that. And certainly it can be done. This is kind of the equation you have. You have the people that are involved times the impact, and that's how you get satisfaction. So how many people are going to be affected? To what impact will you change their lives? Well, the more people and the greater impact, the happier and more satisfied you'll be in your work. Now, do you have control in that? Absolutely. And mainly as the receiver of that. You've heard of thankless tasks? I mean, let's be honest. Doing the dishes, cleaning the house, not really a talent, 100% a skill, takes a lot of time, and does anybody say anything to you? Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that in this culture we're in right now, because of isolation, because of remote everything, whether there is a Zoom or not, pretty much the personal interaction from one person to another is less and less. The more you take it upon yourself to reach out and say, hey, thank you. Hey, I see you. You are helping that person who did that thing get greater satisfaction because you are feeding back into that well, that need to have passion and purpose. So I'll just be honest. I really did not want to do this because there's way too many things going on YouTube, certainly on Facebook, in my opinion. But when I look at the things, I am seeing things that aren't really deep or meaningful. So I decided that rather than just write books and speak to people and do workshops, that I would do stuff like this to find people where they are at, and maybe I could make a difference that way as well. So if you find value in these things, let me know, because otherwise, how will I know? How will I get any satisfaction unless I know it's working for some people? So I have a website. What did I do with that? Here we go. Scrap Lumber. You gotta love it. I like thatstory.net. Now you go there and you'll find that I have a lot of videos. I do a podcast once a week called I Like That Story. I have other projects in the weeds. I have groups I speak to. If you want that podcast, just find me on ilikethatstory.net. If you want the free story I sent out once a month, it's ilikethatstory.net. If you want me to speak to a group, if you want to just ask a question about all the things I've learned over the years, well, I'd be happy to interact with you. Until next time, I'm Jeff Gould with ilikethatstory.net. God bless you.